Now let's talk more about water. Seyi Fabode joins us live from the United States. He's a World Bank consultant and founder Varuna. Varuna uses Google artificial intelligence powered alerts to help check and reduce violations in water management operations. Mr. Fabode, thanks for talking to us tonight. Very quickly, how do we begin to explore similar initiatives like this to measure the quality and safety of water in this part of the world?
Thanks for having me. So it's a problem across the world. So when I just heard the report, these same points that were made can be made about water in the US as well. There are three fundamental things: safety, affordability, and the third being the accessibility of the water. Everywhere in the world, Nigeria, the United States, these three intertwined issues are affecting us, especially as climate change worsens. So what we really need to do is not just pick one of those things to solve. We need to step back and say what can we do right now? And for the Nigeria use case, I think the first step really has to come to individual stewardship, as the report said. How much water are we using individually? What is the quality of that water that we're using individually? Because affordability is sort of out of the question when some people have access to boreholes and they can get the water themselves.
Precisely how do we answer the question of quality? You have to take into consideration the alternatives that exist here. People drink water from PET bottle, from sachet, there's the surface water, and the list is endless. How precisely do you identify the quality of the kind of the water you have purchased?
Yeah, so it has to come from just regulatory structures and I'll use a quick example here. In the US, even the bottled water we get is tapped from somewhere. But the water quality of the tapped water that ends up in the bottles you and I drink, there are regulatory structures that make sure someone is assessing the quality of that water somewhere before it gets to the end-use consumer. While you have water quality monitors for the end-use consumer, we don't focus on that. My company, we don't focus on that because you have to address it at the source. Before it gets bottled or tapped or put into a sachet, how do you make sure you use artificial intelligence, sensors that monitor for particular parameters that indicate clean water? That is where we need to pay attention. We buy the equipment that ensures before it even starts to get into the system or get into the homes or into bottles or sachets, it's already certified as clean. And we're not even doing that right now.
Break it down for us if you can, as simply as you can. How does the Google artificial intelligence work in this case?
Yeah, so the artificial intelligence is actually ours. We use Google's cloud platform. And the way it works is we first drop our sensors at the distribution network in pipes within the distribution network after the water utility has cleaned the water they've gotten from rivers or from aquifers. That flows into the pipes. We put our sensors at different locations within the cities, within those areas of the city where we know they tend to have problems, and we capture data in real time all the time. The artificial intelligence comes in when we have gathered enough data to say, this is how clean water looks like, and we can start to predict when some parameters are trending. Chlorine residual is dropping. We're starting to see organic or metallic contaminants in the water at an increasing rate. And we can then tell the utility in 3 days if the quantity of lead, I'm just using lead as an example, but if the quantity of lead or the turbidity, i.e. the dissolved content in this water, continues to increase at this rate, you will have a contamination problem that your customers will suffer from. By today's Monday, we'll say by Wednesday. That's where the artificial intelligence comes in. We're predicting what can happen so that they can address it before it does. But to be able to predict, we need to collect billions of data points to tell them what might happen in the future.
Very interesting. I'm wishing there could be a sensor on my pure water to know if something goes wrong.
I know. There's we're working on smaller units that
Absolutely.
we can just drop everywhere to help you and I drink clean water all the time.
Seyi Fabode, World Bank consultant and founder of Varuna. Thank you for talking to us tonight.
Thanks for the time.